We previously saw how we can loop through an array of items. Something else we can do with the v-for directive is to loop through an object's properties. First, I will show you how to loop through an object's values. The syntax for doing so is actually the same as with arrays, so all we need to do is to give the current iteration's value an alias. So I'll begin by adding the v-for directive to the li element as before. So in this case, I'll name the alias value. Then we use the in keyword as we did before, followed by the name of the data property containing the object, in this case, person. We could also add a more complex expression, such as a method invocation, for example. The value alias will now contain the value of the object property for the current iteration of the loop. So now all we need to do is to output it with string interpolation. So I'll just write value here. And if I run the code now, we should see the person object's values being output in an unordered list. Now that was pretty easy, wasn't it? What we can also do though is to access the name of the property. To do this, we need to use the same syntax as in the previous lecture, where we accessed the loop index by adding parentheses to the first part of the v-for directive. So let's add these parentheses first of all. So the first alias within the parentheses is the value, so that part will remain the same. The second part is the object key, so I will name this property name. With this, we can now output this value as well. So I'll write it before the value with a colon in between, and I'll say property name. And this outputs a list with both the object keys and their corresponding values. Now you might be wondering why the second alias is not the loop index as it was when using an array within the loop. The reason for this is that Vue.js distinguishes between the type of value that we are iterating through and populates the values for the aliases accordingly. So the semantics of the various alias positions are slightly different when iterating through an object's keys. But what if we also wanted to access the loop index when iterating through object keys? Fortunately, Vue.js got us covered. This index is available if you add a third alias within the parentheses, so let's do that. So I can just write index here. And let's also output the index in parentheses after the object keys and values. So I'll write index here. And there you have it, an object's keys and values being output as well as the loop index.